They say not every game is meant to be played. Some are built not just to entertain but to lure. In a quiet town, tucked between forgotten shops, stood a rundown arcade. Most of the machines were broken, their screens dark, their buttons stiff with dust. But in the back, hidden in shadows, sat a single game that never turned off. It was a simple brick breaker machine, a paddle, a ball, and walls of glowing bricks. The kind of game so old most kids would have ignored it. But this one was different. It didn't need coins. Anyone who sat down would find the ball already bouncing, waiting. Locals whispered that the machine had a hunger, that those who played too long never came back out the same, or never came back at all. Even now, if you listen carefully, some claim you can still hear the faint tick, tick, tick of bricks breaking in the dark. The arcade was called Pixel Dreams, though no one remembered when it had last lived up to its name. Its walls were plastered with faded posters from the 80s. The floor smelled of dust, fried snacks, and something faintly metallic. Mr. Ramos, the old owner, kept the doors open out of stubbornness more than profit. Kids preferred home consoles, phones, and streaming. On most nights, the arcade sat empty, humming softly like a graveyard of machines. But there was one exception. At the very back, past the racing games and fighting cabinets, stood the brick breaker. Its screen always glowed faint green. Even when the power went out during storms, that one machine never died. Teenagers dared each other to play it. Some swore it whispered when no one touched it. Others said they dreamed of bouncing balls, chasing them through endless hallways of bricks. Most laughed it off. Still, no one stayed long at Pixel Dreams, and those who did found themselves drawn, sooner or later, to the back of the arcade. Anna was the first among her group to sit at the machine. She was a skeptic, the kind who rolled her eyes at ghost stories. Her friends huddled around her, phones ready to record. "Watch," she said. "It's just a game." But when she placed her hands on the paddle controls, the screen flickered. The ball launched by itself, cracking into the wall of bricks. The sound echoed unnaturally loud, as if the whole arcade were hollow. Anna's smile faltered. The bricks seemed to rearrange themselves after each hit. Letters began to form. HELPME. Her friends gasped. She slammed the start button, thinking it was a trick. But the letters only grew clearer. The ball kept moving, perfectly aimed, as if guided by invisible hands. Then the paddle shifted without her touch. The machine was playing itself. Anna stumbled back. The game slowed, and for a heartbeat, her reflection on the screen wasn't her own. Pale skin, black eyes, a mouth stretched far too wide. Her friends screamed. When they looked again, the words were gone. The screen showed only bricks, waiting. Anna couldn't sleep that night. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw the words, "Help me." She heard the steady rhythm of the ball striking bricks. The next day, her phone glitched. Random notifications flashed, all showing times that didn't exist. 25:99, 03:66. At one point, her lock screen spelled her name in blocky pixel fonts. She tried to laugh it off. But deep down, Anna felt she had awoken something. At school, her friend Carlo teased her. "You're just scared of an old game," he said. "I bet I can beat it." Anna warned him not to try, but Carlo's eyes gleamed with challenge. That weekend, he went back to Pixel Dreams. Carlo swaggered into Pixel Dreams that Saturday evening, dragging 2 classmates along. The arcade was nearly empty except for the hum of machines. "Watch this," he said, slipping into the chair before the brick breaker. Like Anna before him, he didn't need to insert a coin. The paddle shifted the moment his hands touched the controls. The ball launched, bouncing perfectly between walls of bricks. "Easy," Carlo smirked. "The thing practically plays itself." But as the game progressed, the screen dimmed. The bricks turned darker, redder, until they pulsed like veins. Every strike of the ball sounded less like glass and more like bones snapping. Then came the letters. YOURTURN. Carlo froze. His friends laughed nervously, thinking it was a hidden feature. But the laughter died when the screen showed a face. His face, only drained, sunken, eyes empty sockets. Carlo let go of the controls. The paddle moved on its own, faster now, too fast for human hands. The screen zoomed into the brick wall until it filled everything. His friends shouted as Carlo stiffened. His eyes rolled back and he slumped in the chair. When they shook him awake, he blinked rapidly, confused. I was inside the game." And then he whispered something they would never forget. There were more of us, trapped inside the bricks. Word spread fast. Some said Carlo fainted. Others swore he was possessed. Either way, the machine gained new attention. Every night, someone dared another to play, and every night, the machine grew hungrier. Mr. Ramos, the owner, noticed the changes first. He often found the machine running after closing hours, the ball bouncing endlessly, though no one touched it. Sometimes he heard whispers coming from the speakers, voices that begged, pleaded, or screamed. He thought of unplugging it once, but when he tried, the plug burned his hands. The smell of scorched flesh lingered for days. One morning, he found a chair missing in front of the brick breaker. No one admitted moving it. Later that week, a regular customer, Miguel, disappeared. His backpack was still in the arcade, his phone buzzing with unanswered calls. When police searched the town, they found nothing. But those who peered at the machine swore. They saw Miguel's face flicker among the bricks. The chair never returned. Anna couldn't ignore it any longer. Carlo barely spoke since his turn. He mumbled about walls closing in, endless levels, and hands reaching from the dark. His once bright personality was gone, replaced by hollow stares. One evening, Anna gathered her courage and returned to Pixel Dreams. Mr. Ramos shook his head when he saw her. "Stay away from that machine, Hia. It's cursed." But she pressed on. The arcade was empty. The glow from the back pulled her like a magnet. The machine was waiting. Its screen pulsed faintly like a heartbeat. Anna sat down. The game didn't start right away this time. Instead, the screen displayed a simple question in pixelated text. "Will you trade?" Her hands trembled. "Trade what?" she whispered. The screen flickered. A face appeared, Carlo's face, screaming silently behind the bricks. Then another, and another. Faces she didn't recognize. Dozens of them trapped. "Trade your soul to free one," the machine spelled out. Anna's throat tightened. The ball appeared, bouncing slow, waiting. Anna's heart pounded. If she played, someone might go free. But at what cost? She grabbed the controls. The paddle moved sluggishly, heavier than before. The ball slammed into the wall of bricks, cracking them open. Screams echoed with each break. The letters rearranged themselves. Choose. The bricks shifted, forming faces again, Miguel, Carlo, and strangers whose eyes begged for release. She realized she could only free one. The ball ricocheted wildly, and with each hit, faces dissolved into static. Time was running out. She aimed desperately at Carlo's face. The moment the ball struck, the bricks shattered with a deafening shriek. The screen went black. When it lit up again, Carlo was standing beside her, alive, breathing, but his eyes were wrong, too dark, too deep. He clutched her arm and whispered, "You shouldn't have done that." The machine powered down for the first time in years. The glow was gone. For a brief moment, Anna thought it was over. She was wrong. Days later, Pixel Dreams closed its doors. Mr. Ramos disappeared without a word. The arcade stood empty, its windows boarded. But the brick breaker was gone. No one knew who moved it or where it went. Carlo wandered the town like a shadow. His friends avoided him. He muttered strange things, his voice sometimes glitching like broken audio. At night, Anna dreamed of the machine, its paddle scraping, its ball bouncing endlessly. Then came the news. A new arcade opened 2 towns away. Bright, modern, full of life. But tucked in the corner, unnoticed at first, stood a brick breaker machine. Always on, always waiting. Locals there spoke of a girl who sometimes appeared beside it. A girl with Anna's face. She never blinked. And sometimes if you dared to sit at the game, you'd hear her whisper in your ear, "Your turn."